guys. So, wow, really? This is why I usually don't wear my glasses when I'm recording videos, because all this. Let me turn the light on. There we go. It doesn't really help much, but you can like see everything in my glasses. That's weird, but I need them to see. So I finally decided to go ahead and give in and make one of these Evil Asks videos. By the way, for those of you who don't know where this originates from, it's something that is on Tumblr, if you use Tumblr at all. And yeah, I'm sorry, Tumblr guys, I kind of ruined it, but I mean, might as well be honest here. Move the microphone closer. But I was working on some other stuff for another video I was gonna do last week, and I'm sorry I didn't put one up last week, but I had been dealing with a really nasty head cold all last week, and then Thursday night Thursday afternoon really, it was in the middle of class, I suffered what's called a precordial friction or a precordial catch, which is basically a fake heart attack. It's something that's actually very common with guys my age. It has nothing to do with your health. It has nothing to do with blood pressure or your weight or anything like that. It's basically just your heart decides, you know what, we kind of want you to be in pain right now. And it was weird because I felt pain in my chest and in my left arm, and I mean, I am overweight and I do have high blood pressure. It's kind of a genetic thing, and I know a lot of fat guys say that, but mine actually is genetic. Everyone on my mom's side of the family has it. But so I did go to the doctor, and he just kind of told me to lay low for a few days, and so that combined with being sick, I just wasn't feeling up to making a video last week. But I feel great now. No issues. Haven't had any pain or anything since. Went to the gym earlier today, actually, and felt better than I have in a long time. So, but I figured this would just be a good, fun video to do, because I wasn't really feeling motivated to do the other ideas that I had, and I'll have those ready for you guys next week. So I'm going to go ahead and start these. So, alright, first one. If you could get away with one murder in your lifetime without any legal, social, or emotional repercussions, would you kill someone? I really don't know. I mean, I do have, as it is right now, I can never imagine actually taking a life. I thought about going into the military at one point, but the idea of killing someone just doesn't really sit well with me. But then again, I mean, it does say without emotional repercussions. Yeah, I mean, I guess anybody who, yeah, it would have to be someone who was like a serial killer or like a rapist or something like that, someone who was genuinely just an evil person. I'm not going to say like an ex-girlfriend or anything like that. No, God, no, that's awful. Anybody who says they would try to get away with killing one of their exes probably needs to not be around people. But short of like maybe a serial killer or a rapist or something, no, I don't see that happening. What is your first thought when you receive a message on Tumblr, or in this case YouTube? Are you excited for the idea of someone from potentially the other side of the world wanting to talk to you, or fearful that someone will criticize you? Well, I guess since this is YouTube, I'll take it from a YouTube standpoint. It kind of goes both ways. I mean, when, I do music and I do stand-up and I act, and there's always that fear of criticism. You want to think you did your best and you did a good job, and so there's always that fear that someone's not going to like what you do. But at the same time, if you can't live with that fear, then you shouldn't be in the business of entertainment. So I'm always optimistic that if someone sends me something on a message on YouTube or even on Tumblr, that it's to praise me for a good job. And if it ends up being criticism, well, I mean, that happens. You know, no one's perfect, and criticism is part of my job. So let's see what's next here. Have you ever looked down on someone because you thought your religious views were superior? Well, I guess in order for me to do that, I'd have to have religious views. So, no. Religion is your own personal business. That being said, I look down on people who do that. I've never looked down on someone for their religious views, but I do look down on people who do that. I don't care. I mean, I was born and raised Catholic, confirmed Catholic. Decided I was an atheist when I first started college. I dabbled in Wicca for a little while. It was something I was really passionate about. But I think part of it is I'm just too skeptical to really be a religious person. So I tend to identify myself more as agnostic than full-on atheist. I'm open to the concept that there is something out there. I just haven't been totally convinced yet. But no, the people I do look down on are people who will try to convert other people. People who, if you think your religious views are superior to another's, then I look down on you because you are not being true to your religion. I have studied religion in multiple aspects from a purely objective point of view. I've taken classes, gone to different services, done my share of the research. I'm weird. I'm one of those guys who actually likes to do research. And there is no religion in the world where in the guidelines, it says you have to tell everybody else that they're wrong and we're right. No, it's not what being in a religion. It's a belief system, meaning that's what you believe. It's not saying that it's true or false. It's just saying this is what you choose to believe, and it's a choice, is what it is. So that's where I'm going to leave that. Let's see here. Would you rather know everything the universe has to offer, but in exchange lose all emotions, or remain the way you are now? It's a tough one. It'd be nice to not have emotions, I'll tell you that. Because I think most of us can agree that emotions are evil and should be hated. I think Doctor Who actually said it best when Rose Tyler asked him, why no emotions? He said, because they hurt. And I mean, that's true. So it'd be nice to not have to deal with emotions. But at the same time, I kind of like learning. And I like being able to learn things on my own. Also, I don't want to know everything in the universe, because there are some things I'm probably just better off not knowing. What my next door neighbors did on Valentine's Day, I don't know. I don't know what they were doing. Probably better off, though. It sounded fun, I'm not gonna lie. If you could live and be healthy without sleeping or eating, drinking, which would you cut out of your life? Sleeping. I love to sleep, but one of my best friends and I, we talk all the time about how there's just not enough hours in the day. When you've got 24 hours in a day and you need 8 of those just to sleep, it's just like, there's just not, I could, also, I love food too much. I'm a foodie. I watch Food Network like it's porn, so, okay, maybe not exactly like it's porn, but, and I love sleep. I love my bed. I kind of wish I was in it right now, but I would probably forego the sleep, because that gives me more time in the day to get things done, and I'm a really bad procrastinator, so if it meant having a little bit of extra time, yeah. I don't sleep much anyway. I don't know if I have insomnia or what, but sleeping is not something that comes easily. If you could take on the exact body and form of anyone else on Earth, who would it be? It would either have to be Roy Khan, who is the former lead vocalist of Camelot, because he is a very pretty man. I would go gay for that man. I'd go gay for that man's voice. Are you kidding me? Way more than you guys wanted to know, I'm sure. So I guess if I could look like Roy Khan from Camelot, or I guess Phil Labonte from All That Remains, because he can rock a bald head. I just can't do that. And he's this big, muscly dude, badass tattoos. He's got this one on his shoulder. It's just like this awesome stylized American flag. It's awesome. But yeah, I guess I'd have to go with that. That's kind of a weird question. Speaking of weird questions, would you rather burn or freeze to death? I don't know, probably freeze. I can't imagine the burning. I've been burned before. Burning sucks. I used to work at a restaurant. I burned myself so many times. I probably freeze just because you'd go numb and wouldn't really feel anything. Yeah. If it meant it would solve all world hunger, war, disease, and bigotry, would you spend the rest of eternity in hell? Yeah, sure, why not? I'm already going, so it's not like anything. Plus, I mean, world hunger, war, disease, bigotry, a lot of that stuff could be solved, like, on our own, but people in politics have their heads too far up their own asses to do anything about it. So, if me spending the rest of eternity in hell would just solve all those problems, yeah, screw it, why not? Was the first crush in your life something you had or someone had on you? Oh, it was definitely me on the other person. My first crush was in kindergarten. I was kind of an early bloomer when it came to liking girls. You know, most people don't like girls till they're like in second or third grade. Me, I was like, no way, girls are awesome. But I didn't actually even have my first date till my junior year of high school. Think about this. I didn't have my first date till I was 16, but I didn't have my first kiss until I was 19. It's kind of weird. My relationship history is weird. Anyway, could you live without having sex ever again in exchange for eternal youth? Well, considering I haven't actually had sex in so long that I'm pretty sure my virginity has grown back, I mean, I could say yes, but at the same time, I don't want to live forever. I've actually been asked that before, like if I could live forever, would I? The answer is no. I can't stand the idea of living forever. Just because I get attached to people easily, and so it's like people I love would die and I had to live on without them, and so I just don't like the idea of eternal youth. No. Have you ever watched a full-length pornographic movie? Yeah. I guess it depends on your definition of full length. I'm a single 25-year-old male. Yes, I've watched porn, okay? God. I was talking about porn one time and somebody was like, why were you watching a porn? And it's like, because I was looking for an oatmeal cookie recipe. Why do you think I was watching porn? God. Next question. The Beatles or the Rolling Stones? Confession time. And this is probably where I'm going to lose a lot of subscribers. And I'm going to get so much hate mail. It's not even funny. I'm not a fan of either. I'm just not. Now, let me be clear. I think the Beatles and the Rolling Stones are both very talented. I think they've written some great music over the years. While I may not be a Beatles fan, Across the Universe is one of my favorite movies, and every song in there is a Beatles song. And the Rolling Stones, have been around a long time, and they're still going. I'm just not a fan, I think that I agree with the fact they are classics, but everybody nowadays is so obsessed with the classic stuff. Like, if you don't like something that's a classic, you're a horrible person. Music is all a matter of opinion and taste. You don't have to like something just because it's a classic. You just don't. And anybody who tells you otherwise can go to hell, because the music you listen to and the movies you watch, it's all up to you. It's your opinion. Do what you want. So, I don't like the Beatles and I don't like the Rolling Stones. I respect them. I think they're all talented musicians. I'm just not a fan of the music. And, I mean, if that's not enough for you, then, whatever. Next question. If you could have the ability to manipulate matter or energy, which would you choose? I mean, the energy part would be cool. Because I used to be, I'm not an anime fan, but when I was a kid, I used to watch Dragon Ball Z. And I always I wanted to be able to just blast energy out of my hands. I thought that would have been so cool. I'd have to go with matter, though. Because I'm really lazy, and so if I could just manipulate matter to come to me, like make my Coke can grow legs and walk over to me so I don't have to go get it, that'd be great. I don't know if that's exactly what it means, but... Next question. What was the worst nightmare you ever had? Okay. I rarely have good dreams. That's another reason I like to give up sleep, too, is my dreams are never that great. I usually have... I've woken up from stuff crying before. I think the worst one I had, though... I was in middle school, and my baby sister had just been born. She was like a few months old. And she's actually 10 now. And it was like Halloween time, and so all the serial killer movies, Jason and Freddy and all those guys were on TV. And I don't do scary movies. I'm what a lot of kids nowadays call a pussy. I get scared really easily. But I've been watching all these Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street movies. And I had this dream that night that all those guys were going to my house to kill my family. And, like, I had, like, some, I don't know, magical amulet thing that would make them go away forever. But I had to get to my house and stop them before they killed my family. And I ran in the front door of my house just in time to see them killing my baby sister. And I woke up like in a fit of tears, and so that was probably the worst one I've had that I can think of. Next question. Would you rather spend 1 year with your one true love just to never see them again, or the rest of your life with the second best? I'd rather spend 1 year with my one true love. Because even though my phone is going off, because even though I'd never get to see them after that year, I would make sure that whole year would be the greatest year of my life. The most memorable year ever. And even though I'd never get to see them again, I'd have a whole year of just amazing memories. Because spending the rest of my life with second best, there'd always be that sense of, I love this person, that's great, but wonder what things could have been like if I had, so I got number 2. What would have things been like with number 1, though? There'd always be that sense of what if, and that wouldn't be fair to that person, So I think I'd rather have the 1 year with your one true love, definitely. Scrolling down to the next one. All the sequels, remakes, adaptations, and rip-offs in movies nowadays, are they good or bad? I say good as long as the movies themselves are good. Chris Nolan's... I'm a big movie buff. I sit and just watch movies all day, every day. That's all I do. Like, Chris Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy was perfect, But then you had, like... the Green Lantern movie, which wasn't that great. Or you had, they made a movie out of What to Expect When You're Expecting, which is nothing more than a how-to instructional booklet to help pregnant women feel better about having a baby, and they just made something up. And so, as long as the movie itself ends up being good, do whatever you want. I don't care. I know people get a little uptight, like, oh, do something original, but I mean, everything's been done. Movies have been around since the 20s. It's almost 100 years. You know, pretty much everything's been done. Once in a while, yes, you get something original, but the thing is, too, creativity has become so oversaturated in our society that we can relate anything to anything else. I mean, nothing's ever going to be totally original, and that's something we just have to live with. And I embrace that. I embraced being, you know, you get inspired by someone's idea, but you do your own thing. Yeah, there's going to be similarities, but it's still your own thing. So I'm okay with it as long as it doesn't suck. Next question. Would you rather be dirt poor and emotionally fulfilled in life, or be rich beyond imagination and emotionally dissatisfied for life? Wow, that's not even fair. Because, I mean, like, the emotional fulfillment is, like, I'm a 100% hopeless romantic. So, for me, you know, being emotionally fulfilled is one of the greatest things in the world. Being dirt poor sucks. And, of course, I mean, who doesn't want to be filthy stinking rich? But who wants to be, like, emotionally blah? I'm going to have to go with my heart on this one and just go with I'd rather be dirt poor and emotionally fulfilled. Because I'm also kind of a minimalist. I can learn to make do with what I've got. So, do you have any secret feelings of bigotry to any group of people? Stupid people. I fucking hate stupid people. And I don't just mean, like, you know, if you fail a test, that doesn't mean you're stupid. School sucks. I mean, I've been in college for 6 years, people. School sucks. You gotta do it, though. But, like, just stupid, ignorant people. You know what I mean? People who, like the Westboro Baptist Church. I hate those guys. I think they are just the most evil sons of bitches on the face of the earth. There is not a single shred of decency in those human beings. They're not even human beings, in my opinion. I don't consider them a member of the human race. You know, I have bigotry towards stupid, ignorant, hateful people, if that makes any sense. Would you rather be the only person in the world that can read minds, or have everyone else in the world be able to read minds except for my own? I'm going to be selfish on this one. I'd like to be able to read other people's minds. Just because, like where I live in the U.S. and just the people I've grown up around, I've been surrounded by fake people my entire life. I've been surrounded by liars and cheats and con artists, and I mean, I've just been surrounded by some of the most dishonest people you could ever think of my entire life. And I've fallen victim to it on more than one occasion. So I guess I'm going to be selfish on this one. I'd rather be able to read other people's minds, because frankly, I'm tired of getting screwed over. Next one. If everyone in the world would automatically only know one language, which language would I choose? I'd have to either go with English, just because I already know it, and I'm lazy. I'm really good at Spanish. Like, I don't know it fluently, because it's been so long since I've studied it. But when I studied Spanish, because I studied Spanish from 6th grade all the way until my sophomore year of college, and I was really good at it, so maybe Spanish. But, you know, I'm actually not fond of the French language. You can shoot me if you want, I don't really care. But to me, the French language sounds kind of snobbish. But I love German. German's such a great language. I have plenty of friends from Germany, and it's such a beautiful language. So, let's see here. if you were old enough and not in a situation where it would be appropriate, if you were old enough and not in a situation where it would be inappropriate, would you sleep with one of your past school teachers or professors? So I guess what it's asking is, if I was at the age of sexual consent and it wouldn't be weird, would I sleep with one? Yeah. I have had some teachers and professors in the past who were just gorgeous. Not even just pretty, but also just like good people. You know, I mean, looks are not the most important thing in the world. They're in a relationship. They are important, and I'm gonna justify that because, I mean, when you're spending when you're sharing your heart with somebody, you want it to be balanced. I think there needs to be a balance of physical and emotional satisfaction. Also, I mean, let's be honest. The first thing when we meet somebody for the first time, the first impression we get is a physical one, and that's just the way nature is. Because there are some people who are physically very beautiful, but who emotionally are a pile of shit. And then there are some people who physically, might not be as physically attractive, but emotionally are just some of the most beautiful people on the face of the earth. And also, again, when it comes to looks, it's a matter of opinion. There are people in Hollywood that people tell me are hot, and I look at them and go, I don't see it. I have guys in class tell me how hot they think Megan Fox is. I personally don't see it. It's a matter of taste. I personally don't find myself attracted to the, smoking hot ones, except Anne Hathaway. God, I love Anne Hathaway. Sorry. I'm one of those rare people, I don't have a type. So, but back to the original point, I've had some professors who were beautiful people on the inside, and some professors who were beautiful people on the outside, and I've had professors that were both. So yeah, I'm human. A world without religion, good, bad, or neutral. I'm gonna go with neutral, because there's too many variables there. I do think that religion has gotten a little out of hand, but a lot of that is because I live in the Bible Belt, and I go to school at a liberal arts college that used to be a Bible school in a Mormon town, and so I'm surrounded by, people who are still stuck in the whole biblical sense of things, and so as a comedian, as a musician, as a DJ, I'm not able to get away with certain things, not because they're wrong, but because the people I'm surrounded by they call them moral issues, but they're really religious issues. But to take away all religion, I mean, a world without religion, that's assuming that religion is a bad thing, and religion is not a bad thing. The problem is not the religion. The problem is the people who follow the religion. I think Seth MacFarlane said it best when he said that when he dies and goes to heaven, what's the one thing he wants to hear God say? And he says he wanted to hear God say, "I am sorry for my followers." Because the problem is not Christianity, the problem is not Islam, the problem is not Judaism, the problem is not the religion, the problem is the people who follow the religion, who use their belief system as a weapon. So I'd have to go with neutral, because there's just too many factors there. The next one, the men's rights movement, legitimate cause or laughable, and why? I think it's a legitimate cause, and I'm not just saying that. I mean, okay, yeah, I'm saying it because I am a guy. But I will say I know what they're talking about, but I'm not crazy about the name. Because the issue is not men's rights. I think the issue is just men's respect. Because I don't believe in a patriarchy. but I also don't totally believe in feminism. I believe in across the board equality. I believe that you should get paid based on the job you do, not based on who you are when you're doing the job. I think that if you kill 12 people, you should get the death penalty. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. And I believe that when it comes to child custody, that custody should go to who can take better care of the child. And when I say it's more about men's respect, I mean, if you go on the internet and read some of the things that women post about men on the internet that are just hateful and one-sided and stereotyped, and they get applauded, and people are, but then you see a guy say, my cheating ex-girlfriend is a bitch, you know, people will kind of go, oh, how could you say such a thing, and blah, you know, it's like, women are allowed to bitch about men all they want, but if a man bitches about women, well, he's not being fair, he's not, you know, and even little things too, like, you know, go to a public restroom, go in the men's room and go in the ladies' room. Even here at the school I go to, if you go in the men's room, like the tiles are all cracked and half of them are missing, and the stalls doors are broken, and they're just disgusting. But like you go in the women's room and like there's carpet, and there's a vanity station, and there's like, you know, flowers on the I mean, like, they're so much nicer. Not only that, but like you go to the bathrooms and it's like, when the janitors clean the bathrooms, they leave the men's room door propped open, but, you know, the women's door is like shut and it's got a lock on it, and it's like, you know, why can't you shut our door, you know? So I think it's a legitimate cause. I just think it needs a different name than the men's rights movement, because it's not about rights, it's just about being respected. Because nowadays, first of all, I don't think things are as bad as everyone makes them out to be, but in terms of, you know, women's and men's rights, I think it's actually, I mean, first of all, it's a lot better than it used to be, but it's definitely not where it needs to be. And I think that's just because nobody respects each other anymore. And so yeah, the men's rights movement is a legitimate cause, but the name needs to be changed to something else. Whoever wrote these was not feeling original when they named it that, because that's not what it should be called. If it was called the men's respect movement, I'd be a bit more okay with it. But next question. You can eliminate one of your 5 senses to substantially strengthen the others. Which one, and would you do it? It's so late at night, I have to remind myself what the 5 senses are. Sight, touch, taste, hearing, and smell. If I had to get rid of one, it'd probably just be smell, because I don't do a lot with smell. Not hearing, because I love my music. Not taste, I love food. Not sight, I enjoy seeing and I enjoy reading. And not touch, because I enjoy touch. Never mind. Yeah, I'd probably get rid of smell if I had to, but I'd also rather not, because there is very little else better in this world than walking into your mother's kitchen and smelling what she's cooking for dinner. I'm just saying. So, if I had to get rid of one, it'd be smell, but I probably wouldn't want to. Do looks mean anything to you? Don't lie. Could you fall in love with someone you thought was ugly? Well, that kind of goes back to what I said earlier. I guess it's your definition of what you think is ugly. I mean, you know, there are guys, there are women out there who fall over when it comes to Robert Pattinson from Twilight. But my last girlfriend, every time she saw a picture of him, she'd scream, "He looks like a foot." And that was so great. They had the audacity to show a Twilight preview at one of the Harry Potter movies, and she screamed that in the theater, and everybody started laughing. I thought that was funny. So yeah, I mean, I don't have a type. It's a matter of what you find. What you find physically attractive is what you find physically attractive. You know, there are plenty of people who think I'm the ugliest motherfucker on the face of the earth, and then I know for a fact there are many people who have told me in the past that they've found me attractive. I mean, I've had plenty of relationships. I've had plenty of sex. You know, it's just one of those things. It's a matter of opinion. Do looks mean anything to me? Yeah, but they're not the number one thing on my priority list. I mean, like I said, you could be drop dead gorgeous, but if you're a shitty person, I don't want anything to do with you. So there needs to be a balance. I think if you're going to spend the rest of your life with somebody, I think there does need to be that balance, and it's not something douchey. I think that's just nature. Something that most people aren't willing to admit is that, yeah, we're human beings, but we are just a species of animal. We have natural human instincts. We have instincts in our genes, and one of them is to be drawn to people who we find physically appealing. But who I find physically appealing, and who my roommate finds physically appealing, and who our neighbor finds physically appealing, are three totally different things. And so, could I fall in love with someone that I thought was ugly? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But I don't fall in love easily either. I'm very picky about the people that I choose to spend my time with, in any sense. I don't even like adding people on Facebook until I've had multiple conversations with them and know who they are as a person. I don't just add someone on Facebook because, oh, we had lunch the other day, we should be friends now. No, I'm sorry. Just to be my friend, and most of the people I hang out with don't know that, but, I don't consider you my friend. There's a very lengthy process for me to consider someone a friend, and so to consider someone that I would want to be with, that I would love, I don't know. For me, there are and it's not that I'm picky, it's just that, this is going to sound depressing, but I've had my heart broken a lot. It's not so much in terms of quantity as it is intensity. I've had my heart broken, fucking squashed by people in the past, by women that I was in love with, and so I don't fall in love very easily. So that's about the best I can answer that question. Can you understand the mindset and logic used by the opposite spiritual opinion? An atheist understanding the belief in well, yeah, I mean, it's like I said before, I'm an agnostic, kind of an atheist, but I don't give a rat's ass what you believe, as long as you're not trying to cram it down my throat. I have friends who are Catholic, I have friends who are Jewish, I have friends who are Muslim, I have friends who are Wiccan, and we all hang out together every day for lunch and for dinner here in the dining hall. I have friends who are flat out atheists. I have friends who are agnostic. I have a friend who who's a practicing druid. So, as someone who really doesn't have a belief system, yeah, I don't care what you believe as long as you're a good person. You could believe in the flying spaghetti monster, and as long as you treat people well and you treat me well and you're a good friend and a good person, your religion doesn't define you. Your actions define you. The terrorists in 9/11 had a certain belief system. Not everybody of that belief system is a terrorist. I think it's important for us, however, even if we're not of a certain spiritual persuasion, we should try to learn about it. Like Mormonism, for example. Not a Mormon. I have friends who are Mormons, And I'm sure there are a lot of you out there who, when you hear the word Mormon, you immediately think polygamy because of the polygamist. Well, the thing you have to realize is Mormonism does not support polygamy. That was one guy in Utah who was a polygamist who happened to be Mormon. And when they found out about it, he went and he was like, oh no, it's okay. The Mormon religion says I'm allowed to be a polygamist. And you know what the Mormon leader said? No, that's not cool. And he was actually excommunicated from the Mormon church. Mormons actually have a very strict policy on relationships. Really good friend of mine, she's a Mormon, and she's been dating a guy for a very long time. Now, most religions will recognize a common law marriage. They look at that and they're not crazy about you living in sin, but the law recognizes you as married, and they're willing to deal with that. In the Mormon church, you're not considered in a relationship with somebody until you're married in the Mormon church. Also, if a girl who's a Mormon marries a man who is not a Mormon, that's fine. He doesn't have to convert to Mormonism. But his family is not allowed to attend the service. So it's, Mormons are very strict about relationships, and so, and I learned that just by I took a world religion class, and we learned about Mormonism, and so, again, I understand that some people, either have a need for a belief system or have a want for it, or they just have it. Whatever the reason is, it doesn't matter. What you believe is your business. What I believe is my business. As long as we're good people, that's all that matters. Treat people well, pay your bills, pay your taxes, Don't be a dick. Don't go on the YouTube comment section and treat people like shit. Seriously, I've been around since before YouTube existed, and some of the things I see get said on the YouTube comment sections sends chills down my spine. And I watch Happy Tree Friends. So, I listen to death metal. So, yeah. I guess that's my 2 cents, and that'll about do it for the Evil Asks section. So, thanks guys for tuning in, and thank you to everybody who actually did message me in the last week, who were, some of you guys follow me on Tumblr if you were checking up on me after my heart thing, and so thank you guys for that. I feel fine, so, but I'll have another video for you guys next week, unless I have another heart thing, who knows. I'll get it to you when I can, but thanks so much guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Take care.